Good evening, everybody. I am DM Ford Stillwater with Triple J Gaming presents Thursday Night Brew. We're a player short this evening, so we're going to keep it kind of short and sweet because a lot of my players have a lot of important duties that they got to handle this weekend. So we're just going to do a little bit of light RPing. I'm going to set the stage for next game session. So I hope everybody sits back and enjoys. Players, as always, appreciate you guys for taking time out your lives to come be a nerd with me. With that being said, the scene. When we last left off, our adventurers had been battling a large mob of Sahuagin. During the battle, their already broken airship had taken serious damage. Though through their valiant efforts in summoning dinosaurs onto poor suspecting Sahuagin, they had pushed back the mob, and now with a quick respite, are searching the ship as their friend has come up and told them of the destruction deep within the ship. Players, there is one of the mages standing there before you, frantically looking as he comes running up. He sees Riff first. Captain, quickly, you must come below deck. There seems to be the battle ensued below. There's cracks everywhere. Me and my brethren, the other magi, we're trying to hold the ship together best we can.
I'll tell him I'm not the captain, but I'll come with you and take a look, and we can see what we can do to fix this damage below.
All right. So our adventurers, everyone decides to take heed and follow him down into the belly of the ship.
Yep, I will for sure.
Yep.
All right.
I
If I could cry.
Am I still knocked out, or am I up and moving?
From my Green Sleeves has got. You guys healed him. No, actually, Green Sleeves is still knocked out, and so is Alon. Yep. No, because this is still happening. Like you guys are stable, but you're knocked out.
I'm taking a nap then.
Yeah, I'll pick him up and run.
Who are you picking up? Green Sleeves or Alon?
Both, and bringing them to a location.
Okay.
Let's see. Is it flooding? Like, can I see like down the steps? Is there water like rising?
Not from your angle. No, you cannot tell.
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna sit them side by side, and I'll search for a good berry, shoved down Alon's throat.
All right. Roll me a perception check. Alphonse, as you're standing over Alon, you see Colossus come this big walking suit of armor come over and look down and kind of pick him up and just start rummaging through his pockets. You see Riff dart below deck. What are you doing?
Well, Colossus, what is this? Listen, I've already had a talk with some of the others about pilfering and pillaging.
Alphonse, as you're saying this, you just watch Colossus like holding Alon in one hand, go aha, and then shove something in his mouth and start moving his lips up and down as he looks at you, and it's just his big face is like and then just drops Alon unceremoniously, and then turns and starts running back towards the hull of the ship. When Alon hits the ground, you hear a Alon, you find yourself awake with aches and pains all over your body. You are effed up, my friend.
I'm gonna start cure woundsing where it hurts. Just start touching myself. I'm gonna start healing myself.
All right, so something you can do, we've not explored this a lot. but you can target yourself in the combat tracker. So go ahead and do that and cast your spell so I know where you're at. Burgie, what are you doing?
Are we still worried about those other ships at all? Because
yes, you are. You are. Everyone else. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think I'm going back up to the crow's nest to, like, all this was a distraction because I was trying to keep a watch out for what was going on and keep us moving.
Good call, Burgie. When you get up there and you peer out into the sky, roll a perception. With your beady little crow eyes, you scan the horizon, knowing that you're still running from a battle a few hours out. When at first you think it's just low clouds where the horizon meets, and your gaze peers sharper. And then, yes, that is a mast you see. Definitely something, a sail in the distance. Though it be only a speck and far off, for sure you believe that there is a ship heading your way. All right, so Alphonse, do you stick there with Alon and help him get back on his feet?
Yep, I'm gonna like casually just kind of give him a look just to make sure there's nothing missing. Since I don't know what Colossus just did. I just have war flashbacks to the tomb.
In a hospital bed.
All right. So Riff, since you're the first one down the stairs and you get down there, your paws start to hear a as you get down there. There's about 2 foot, well, about a foot of water in the hall. As you quickly scan around, you look and you see where 2 wizards are standing using magics to try to hold the stem of water from a Sahuagin sized hole in the side of the ship. Strewn about are the bodies of Sahuagin, and you see a couple of the wizards are down. Of the 25 that you had brought with you, roll a perception to try to get a head count real quick.
All right. Huzzah!
Yeah. So quickly you scan the room, taking in the damage. You see about 18 wizards through the ship as you run back and forth through the hall there, taking account of what's going on. All the while looking for Joseph, the self-appointed leader of this group of magi that you are to be escorting to the city of Freeton. As you finally are looking around, then you notice that there's a couple of human bodies floating in the water. Some of the magi had fallen during the attack. You finally make eye contact with Joseph, and you rush over to him. In that time, as you're running back and forth, Colossus, you see Riff, kind of coming, and you see him kind of pointing, doing like a head count, and then he runs to the back, and he sees 2 humans. 2 of the magi sitting there. One is cradling another in his arms. You quickly recognize them as Joseph and Mr. Graves. He seems to be holding Mr. Graves in his arms. As you come over, Riff, and you start a conversation. All right, Burgie, what are you doing?
So after I squawk and go crazy and tell everybody, hey, there's something going on, can I make anything out from this ship, or it's just so distant, so I just know there's something heading our way?
It's just so distant, you know something is heading your way.
So I think I'm still gonna. Everything was going on. I had dropped my concentration, but can't remember what Dang it, I can never remember how I do this. I can make the wind move. Wind.
While he's looking that up, Alphonse, you're checking out Alon. I'm gonna get back his feet, make sure nothing was taken. You watch Colossus run down the stairs. Then moments later, you hear Burgie start squawking and pointing off into the distance. But surprisingly enough, though, it's more squawks than words. And then finally, something comes out that it's ship on the horizon. I don't know my nautical terms, so it's off the left side of the ship.
I think that's port. That's port, I think.
It is port. We use nautical stuff in an ABB for some reason.
Learn something new every day.
Freaking Marines, dude.
So I don't know what's going on downstairs, but it's clearly not good if everyone's running around.
And now you got Burgie and the crow's nest going on.
I'll kind of glance in whatever direction he's looking, and I'll kind of shout back up to him. You think you can do that magical fog thing again?
I can. If we're not expecting anybody, that's exactly what we'll do. And so he starts fluffing his hands up like this and blows out towards the stern of the ship and creates a big cloud of fog.
All right. So, Riff and Colossus, you guys are sitting there, standing over Joseph and Graves. Graves is mortally wounded. Joseph looks up to you, Riff, and he's like, I don't know how much longer they can hold on. They're trying to use what magics that they have left from the fight to keep the ship afloat. But we got to figure something out quick. And when he says that, you feel the ship kind of lurch a little bit from the balloon that was tore open, finally start to lose all air and start to pull down on the side. What are we going to do?
Do I hear any of this going on?
Nope, you guys are still above deck.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, I'm gonna ask him like how much time does he think we have left with the magic before, kind of into the road there, and where the like major damage is, like where the big holes that need to be plugged are.
I don't know. Can I intelligence, like, would that help me in any way figure out how long we have?
Yes,
like
it would.
Seeing like how much water's coming in and how long we have.
Yep.
Can I do an intelligence check then?
Yes, you can.
Unfortunate.
You look over at Colossus, and then you hear the old 90s dial-up. As it's going through, as he's like looking around, a little bit of steam comes out, and he's like, by my estimation, we've got 15, 20 minutes unless we can get these big holes patched up.
All right, so yeah, I'd like to take a look around the room for what we can find to plug those holes, especially the Sahuagin size one.
Yep, the parts that I took apart and then used mending on to then get our supplies back for ship repair. I would like to grab as many planks as possible and get my tools out and get to patching the biggest holes first, then to the smallest holes.
All right, so with that, you see Colossus turn to the side and then start rummaging through. He's just in the floating water. He's grabbing crates and rope and anything he can get his hands on, and you watch him running over to this big hole and start like working magics on it. All right, Alon, Alphonse, and Burgie. Alon, you kind of come to and finally get to your feet, and you see, this big roaring fog cloud like start emanating from the crow's nest where Burgie is at, and it swirls and cascades until it gets bigger and bigger. It's so dense and so huge, a rainstorm kind of starts happening, and it goes over to the side of the ship. creating like a wall of fog, hiding the ship from something coming from that direction. What are you doing?
Did I hear anything Burgee said, or was I still out?
No, you were awake when you heard Burgee yell ship off the starboard bow, or whatever it is.
Okay, can I? So hearing that, can I add to the storm by using a call lightning spell?
Yes,
Like
you
over
can.
his fog?
Yes, you can.
All right. All right, I'm going to start channeling, reciting some druidic verses and conjure up a storm cloud across from the fog to kind of help obscure our vehicle.
All right, so as you you pull yourself to your feet and use your magics to start healing your body a little bit, though you're still gashed and bleeding and feel like maybe some ribs are broken. You concentrate and pull forth the energies and call upon this roaring storm to go over the fog cloud. As you do, the mixture of Burgee's inborn magic and then your call upon the nature's magic start to cascade together, and the storm starts roaring and wind is picking up. The ship is starting to rock even more from the the storm that you two have created. On your distance there, it's just now black skies. Lightning is crackling through it. Purplish, bluish lightning crackling across the top of the sky. It's a torrential downpour with this thick fog just sitting in it. As you guys do, the three of you that are on top of deck roll perception checks at advantage.
Excuse me.
At advantage?
Yes, at advantage.
ADV short for advantage.
Oh my gosh. Can't, I can't see.
Ouch.
Bergie, you're
Perception.
just so
Is that
impressed
one?
with the storm in front
No,
of
no.
you, just the magic. You're just like, yeah.
That's rough.
No, do
That's rough.
Is the advantage still on?
no.
No, you have to click it again.
The wisdom one?
Oh,
All right. So, Lon, as you're the only one standing there watching the magics cascade together and create this storm out in the distance, the waves start rocking against the ship as it's listing a little bit, getting pulled down by that balloon. And, you're standing there riding out the waves. As you look down, though, and actually looking at the waves, just at the edge of this storm you guys created, you start to see more Sahuagin heads start like popping out of the water. Almost as many as the ones you guys have already fought off. They're a good bit distance out. It seems that you would have to, well, roll an insight. We have skills for these things.
oh yeah.
Can you click on it? I'll keep moving the mouse. Yeah.
You would have to say that they remind you of a pack of school of fish, like getting more fish together before they start swimming upstream, or before a bunch of smaller fish would attack a larger fish. You feel like they're biding their time.
Hey guys, there's more of those fish fucks out there. They're coming back. I don't want to die again.
Virgie, as you look down from the crow's nest, kind of snap two out of it. You hear, Alon is hollering. He's like, "More fish McNuggets," pointing out into the water. You look down and you see what he is pointing at, and there's a lot of them out there, but they're a good distance out.
I'm just trying to keep the fog as dense around the ship as I can. So hopefully these things will be kind of looking at us, wondering what the hell is that out there, and not really noticing.
All right.
There's not a whole lot else I know to.
And Alphonse, what are you doing?
And he's blowing the sails.
So at this point, like we've all kind of noticed the balloon dragging us down, right?
Yes. The ones below deck can only assume you three above deck. Yeah.
I'll look at it along. How likely do you think it is we're gonna fly again?
Do I do a check for that, or do I just say something?
Cut this off.
You tell me there, player, how you want to handle it. I'm all about you rolling
Ma'am.
dice. Don't get me wrong, bro.
Ma'am, I am a druid. I don't.
I'm gonna start walking towards whatever connection points are to this balloon, and I'm just gonna take the sword I have, and I'm just gonna start hacking away at it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. All right. Roll
That
me
was
2
in character.
attacks.
Is the AC of the dirigible?
Don't roll
2
a
attacks.
1. Yeah.
Oof. Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey.
So you pull the longsword from its sheath the first time since you've had this weapon from session 1. Session 1. And you're like, oh wow, this thing is super light, and oh my, and you bring it down on the rope and it slices through it like a hot knife through butter, and halfway through the railing, and you didn't even put any strength into it, and you're just like, oh, oh, and the rope snap, and instantly the back of the ship gets pulled a little bit as the weight is now shifted more to the back. The front of the ship kind of leans up a little bit, and you run over to the next set of ropes, and then this time you cleave through the ropes and the railing just like a hot knife through butter again. Just, you're like, where have you been? With that, Colossus, roll me a Tinker's Tools check. Your bane of your existence.
I have a +7. I would just like to point this out. Like,
Ooh.
And for the last 6 times I've needed him to pass a check, I don't think he's rolled over a 15. Or no, I don't think he's even hit a 15. Just gonna throw that out there too. So you come over there, you start like disassembling a couple of the boxes, and you're trying to stretch the materials that you have there. You see the 2 magi are standing there with their hands out. Roll me an Arcana check.
me?
Yep.
Also a +7, by the way.
And yes, they're using magic. The
I think
spell,
you need to change the color of your dice.
the whatever spell that they are using is right now. You're so concentrated, it's foreign to you. You get everything across. You bust out your tools kit, and you hammer some nails in and doing some stuff, and you start to use the magic to break down the rest of things to start closing up the gap. But you miscalculated your magics and only closed the gap slightly. And fortunately, though, what quick stuff you had gathered you've used those materials. Also, though, now that you've made it a smaller hole and focused the flow, you see the 2 wizards stumble as the pressure that is hitting their magical shield has increased. Other magi are still moving about the ship, using what powers that they have, slight mending spells and and other magics to hold the ship together. Riff, roll me a pirate check.
Oh, no problem. Jesus Christ.
You're like, we can
You ain't
save
no
this
pirate.
with this.
Fucking
We've
plus 7.
I've
How's
been
it
in.
feel?
Unusual, I guess.
Do you need some help being a pirate?
Yarr, ships, you say.
Riff, yeah, you kind of look around, and from what you see, you're like, oh, I've been in the hulls of ship that we have fought, and they've been worse, and they've floated back into shore. We're fine. And you kind of look back down to Joseph and Graves. Graves kind of looks up at you, and he's coughing up some blood. And you look down, and like there's a hole in him, off to the side, and Joseph is like, I don't think he's not gonna make it. We've lost so many of our brethren already, but the ship, we can be able to make the ship. And then you see Joseph look up, and his eyes get real big. Through another small hole off the side that one of the magi is holding the magic back. I mean, holding the water back with magic as the other ones are trying to repair it. He catches a glimpse of something, and then quickly looks, and he's like, 2 arms, 2 arms. Everybody kind of panics and looks around, and then eerie silence. All right. Above you guys on the top deck, as you guys are watching the storm and keeping a lookout, you notice that there are some sharks that kind of come up close to the ship and then dive down. They don't have any riders, though, that you could see from your vantage points. After a few more moments of silence and everybody holding their breath, waiting to hear a thud or a thump, through that hole, Riff, you have ran up to and started looking out of. Strangely enough, though, the magics of the wizard has kind of made it crystal, almost like a porthole for you to look out. As you peer through, you see what looks like a fairly decent-sized group of sharks. Roll a perception.
Oof. All right, all right.
You see at least 3, maybe 4 out there just in the distance, swimming around the ship. Everybody roll me a deck save.
Everyone.
Everybody?
Everybody. Never mind. You guys don't do it. I'm going to do something real quick. It's been a long time since I've used this software.
Is it the fancy one that pops it up
It
for?
is the fancy one that it pops up.
I missed that for initiative.
Oh man. Oh.
Oh, there we go.
That software is great for surprise attacks because we'll just be like, you'll be like, all right, so you're walking to the bar and it's like initiative, and it's like, wait, what?
And then just need one from Virgie.
That's okay.
Oh, I thought you were doing it. Okay, sorry.
Yep. Oh no, I'm using my fancy software. All right, so everybody but Riff and Virgie kind of like fall on their ass, quote unquote, knocked prone, as you're reaching, grabbing for something, as all of a sudden the other balloon gets hit by multiple things, maybe, and the ship is hit so hard it pulls the ship down before finally the balloon at the bottom, you can hear it rip, and air start fluttering from it, and the magical gas is used. Those of you above deck just watches you're on the deck and the ship lists and gets pulled a little bit until finally there's a big explosion as air and water go flying into the air and pieces of the balloon. as it's just ripped to shreds and pops. Those of you below deck, though, just hear a large cacophonous boom from the shockwave of the balloon exploding and slamming into the side of the ship, knocking everybody about. All right. What's everybody doing?
I'm gonna get up and I guess I'm gonna cut away what's left of that balloon too. I don't want to be dragged down by all this junk.
And
It's
so
an airship. It can't be. They're
below,
taking the air.
Well, now it's a ship.
I have a question real quick. I have a body in my inventory, and I'm kind of curious. It just
What?
says body in my inventory.
Oh, that's to represent your body where you have things at.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
obviously your belt goes on your body, your backpack goes on your body,
Okay.
things
Gotcha.
like that. Yep. Okay.
Very confused for a moment.
Yeah, me too. I was like, is it a goblin body? I mean, is there any more descriptive on that? All right, so with renewed vigor, Alphonse pulls himself up and starts hacking away at more of the ropes, loosening the burden on that side of the ship. Alon and Bergie, what are you guys doing?
Do I at this point in time do I see any more sharks around?
Yes.
I'm going to go below deck and communicate the cacophony of issues we're running into up top to the bottom group.
All right, so you run downstairs and you're like, "Hey guys, we gotta." Oh shit! As you walk down into there, and now the water is about up to your shins. You see dead Sahuagin floating through the water. A couple of the magi are bloodied, leaning up against the items in the ship. Other magi are using their magics to hold the ship together as some try to mend it. There's a few over there standing by Colossus, which have like some type of aura emanating from their hands in like a bubble shape, keeping the water at bay from this huge hole in it. Other ones are running around trying to do like what Colossus is doing and use anything they can find to plug the cracks in the holes in the ship.
What? I'm just gonna holler out what needs done where what we got to get floating. There's Sahuagins, there's sharks, we got it. We got to get this ship moving. What needs done?
So
And you
for
hear-
sorry, go ahead.
I would say, and so you come running downstairs and you see all of that and you bellow out, where can I help? What can I do? And so everybody is so engrossed what they're doing that you don't get a response. So you kind of move over to where Riff is at. All right, Bergie?
I was just gonna ask, can I tell if all these sea creatures are gaining on us here, or are we making way? I'm assuming I've not caught any glimpse of land yet, right?
Nope.
We're trying to head in the correct direction.
But your rudder is still broke and it's got you in a circle pattern. That's what the whole reason why you guys have stopped to do repairs and then inadvertently dropped your anchor on a Sahuagin nest. It happens.
That was unfortunate.
And
little Virgie just like, man, I don't know. And he sees Alon go down below, and so he's like, looks around, tries to take notice to see if things are gaining on us or not, and then he slides down and sticks his head down under too.
All right. So Colossus, what do you got?
Alon came down for a second, right? All right. So I'm gonna ask Alon, is there any nature magic that you could use to plug these holes? I've seen you create vines and giant beasts. Like, is there anything creation-wise that you can make to plug a hole? Like, how big are those octopus? All right, like octopi. How big are those octopi?
I got how many holes are there?
A lot.
Just
Can I use a
A
perception
lot.
check to figure out how many holes there are?
Yes.
Outstanding.
Don't mind my spelling. I'm pretty sure you've had Ebonics, so you can figure it out.
Ah. By the way, I made my dice black with black numbers, so I don't know what I.
Yes. It's
I
gonna clean
like
up the
it.
face. That's short for Joseph. All right. So yeah, you look around. There seems to be like micro cracks everywhere that the Magi seem to be handling. But besides the one big hole that you're in front of, there are two more fairly large size holes that have teams of Magi using that same kind of strange magic to create like a force bubble around the hole.
Okay. Let's see. So, like the vines creation, like, what do you think, Alon? Do you think they would be strong enough to, like, if you conjured vines in that area? Do you think it would be strong enough
Yeah,
to
I can.
patch a hole? Or do
Yeah,
you
I
think that would
can.
work?
All right, we got two options. I can try and plug it up with vines, or I can put two gorillas in the hole and use their arm to block it.
Like, in my head, I feel like we should go with the vines, but then again, I really want to see some starry gorillas plugging a hole in a ship with their arms.
like, yeah, like, wow. All right, so let's give some diameters then.
That just seems right.
Yeah, I need a diameter before I make a decision.
Yeah,
All
how
right.
big
Because the gorilla would be effective, not ethical, but very effective.
All right, so the hole that Colossus is in front of is 4 foot wide by 3 foot tall, right? 3 by 4 foot hole in the side of the ship, and like I said, there's magics around it, and then Colossus is right there trying to meld things to kind of plug the hole. There's another hole, about a 6 foot all the way around.
All right. Can I try and use entangle on the outside of the boat to kind of like get vines around the hole and slow the leak?
Yes, you can.
All right. So I'm going to start muttering in Druidic, touching the ground, and letting the vines sprout from the wood and like creep over around as tightly as they possibly can over the holes.
As you do that, you see a visible relief on the two Magi that are standing there. One of them finally breaks concentration and lets the magic down, and the other one is able to stand in front of it. And he's like, "Thank you a lot. I need a rest for a moment. Our magics won't hold out much longer, but me and Bastille here, I think now we can hold this. If you have any more of those magics left, I would use them." I did notice though when we were holding the water back that this fight is not done. It seems that the Sahuagin are still out there.
So Burgee at that point chimes in and says, "Yes, a lot."
So
Yeah.
as you guys are standing there talking and working, you hear Lon say that, and Bergie sticks his head down, and he's like, "Squawk!" Yes, there is a lot of Sahuagin out there, and a ship.
I'd like to walk over to like Joseph and Graves and see if there's any magic spells that they know of or anything that they can do to help us out here.
Joseph shoots you a murderous glance as you mention this to him. Graves sitting there holding his side, and he's like, "It must be done. It must be done." Joseph's like, "No, we cannot use that magic here. We don't even have the Lundanium to do it." And he's like, "Yes, we do." And he pulls a little pouch out, and he kind of holds it up. And Joseph's looking at him. He's like, "No, no, you can't do that. That won't be enough to do what you want to do." At that moment, Hornridge kind of comes sloshing through the water, grease covered. Half his beard is burnt off. Blackened soot. And as he's coming from the engine room, like crawling through some rubble, and he comes out and he's like, "We're gonna have to do something quick, because if that boiler, magic boiler gets submerged, we're all gonna die. Doesn't matter if we get this thing floating or not." And then,
Does this metal look familiar to Bergie? Bergie's got this necklace hanging around his neck. As they're having this discussion, does he look at his necklace and then look at that metal and be like, "Oh my God, I've got this"?
and you take that necklace off, and independent on there is a fairly large piece of Lundanium. Joseph shoots you a murderous glance also, and he's like, "No, we can't do it. The exchange is never right. It's never right." And then with unknown strength and determination, he's like, "This ship is named after the father of one of my great grandchildren. I can't let it be destroyed. Isel would be so upset to know." And as he pulls himself up and he's kind of standing there, he looks across at everybody and he's like, "Magi, listen to me." And Joseph's like, "No, don't. We can save the ship. We can do this." What is everybody's response? And right when he does that, you guys feel a lurch as the ship rocks, as Alphonse has finished cutting through the last part of the balloon, and it starts to break free.
I'm gonna say that, yeah, there's not too many options that we have, and this seems like a pretty good one. So I think kind of push aside the more and get in it.
How heavy is this boat? And how badly does it need to get moving?
I have no idea how heavy the boat is, but it needs to get moving really fucking bad.
All right. Can I? All right. I have a plan. I would like to communicate with the group to see what we need to do to make it happen. Do you think a plesiosaur can tow the boat?
See, I was having the same thought. That seems like a great idea.
Okay. Who's gonna lasso the plesiosaur? It won't bite hard.
I mean, me and Alphonse should like some awesome strength saves, like.
All right. Jeff, can I attempt to get a plesiosaur to tow the boat? It'll break concentration on the storm, but it'll get the boat moving.
You come running up, and you're like, "I have an idea. At that point in time, the micro cracks in the boat start coming loose. and you guys feel it hit as it seems one of the sharks started hitting the undercarriage of the boat, scraping by. What is going to happen to our players? What is going on out there, and what is this forbidden magic he's talking about? We'll find out all that and more after we take a quick 10-minute break, guys. We'll be back. Hi, everybody. DM Fort Stillwater here with Triple J Gaming Presents Thursday Night Brew. We had to take a little break there, let our guys get some grub in their belly, use the restroom, so on and so forth. You guys around the gaming table know how it goes sometimes. So, our adventurers, what are you guys doing? Your ship is sinking fast. More and more damage is coming along. Two of the Magi are arguing over on what to do. Poor Colossus is trying as his might. His tinker tools just suck. And what's on the horizon besides a makeshift magical storm that our players created? More Sahuagin seem to be attacking the boat. We seem to be in dire straits, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see how our players handle this conundrum. So yes, back to it. Burgie, you come running up to Joseph and Graves holding this necklace that holds a bit of this magical material, Lundanium. Joseph is looking at Graves like, no, you can't. No, you cannot. When another shark hits off of the ship. Riff, you're like, whatever needs to be done, get it done. Alon is over there using the rest of his magical energies to try to hold the ship together the best he can. Burgie and Riff, go ahead and roll me your respective skills.
Pirate?
Yep, pirate and sailor.
Hey, there we go.
All right, as both of you are looking around the boat now, Riff, yeah, you see it. There's wood is splintered on the hull. The pillars that separate the ship are cracking. She's going down quick unless you guys can get a major overhaul or something. Both of you realize that there's not much left of this ship. And now that the other balloon has been popped and seems to be a chew toy for sharks, I don't know, what are you guys gonna do?
I elaborate to and just reinform him that forbidden magics will have their own consequences and more than is originally known from the start. And I'll very calmly say that because me as an intellectual, knows very well that that's my survival too. So I'm perfectly okay with him doing it, but just reinforming that, other options may be explored.
Not too many other options than sink into the seafloor.
Yeah, Burgie nods and says, "Yes, we can swim."
Yeah.
I cannot.
It's gonna be a long ride back.
Oh.
But he doesn't
How
need
many-
oxygen. He can just walk on the bottom of the ocean.
How
Yeah,
many,
by the time I get there fighting 8 megalodons.
Yep.
how many people do we have? Like, how many souls aboard?
Well, there's you. 1, 2. What is it? 6 of you. The 6 of you, and then from what you know right now, 18 others. So 24.
I don't know. Does the Colossus have a soul, technically?
That's a debate for another game session. But also, with that being said, you guys are looking at each other and you're trying to talk to Joseph and Graves, and finally he's just looks at Colossus and hears what he says, and then he pulls his jacket away. And Colossus, you see this gaping hole, and more of that kind of strange magic that the other wizards are using to hold the water out is like a magical shield inverted, holding what seems to be his insides in, but still there's blood leaking from it. He's like, I know the price that must be paid. Magi, hear me. And Joseph goes to cut him off, and finally he just kind of takes his wizard staff and slams it down on the base of the boat. And in the splashing of the water, which is now up to everybody's knees. Magi, hear me. The time has come for me to use the magic that must not be used. prepare yourselves, call upon your huts, and not bear witness to this. And then he looks at it, and the other magi are just like, they look to Joseph, and then they look back to Graves. And Joseph's like, you damn fool. You damn old fool. And he turns and he steps away, and he pulls out into his robes, and then just pulls out this spell book and starts flipping through pages. You look at the other magi, and they start doing the same. Joseph walks into an open area and tells all of you, quickly, go get Alphonse. There isn't much time. Graves grabs that Lundanium in one hand and his staff in the other, and starts muttering words as he's moving his hands in like counterclockwise circular motions. You start to see runes and other magical symbols like start to appear around him. He's like, quickly, we don't have much time. Everybody just standing there.
I'm still hammering away at this hole, like
Hey.
Virgie, what are you doing?
I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm like, here's all I know, handing out my necklace and like listening to all these grand mages that are far superior to me. I don't know. Do I have any memories of any of this kind of thing from my time in the bottle?
Roll me a wisdom check.
Like,
Yeah, just your base wisdom.
okay.
well,
I know
like-
nothing.
You're like, forbidden magic? The Celine I knew nothing was off limits. I don't know what the hell these guys are talking about. All right, Alon, what are you doing? All right, so this okay. So let me reset the scene. All right, so Joseph and Graves have just got done arguing, and Graves, pushed Joseph off to the side and yells for the Magi to protect themselves. The Magi look back and forth, and then Joseph finally says, "You damn fool," and then steps up and opens up, pulls a spell book out and starts casting a spell from it. The other Magi have stopped what they are doing and either pulling out trinkets or other spell books or, other things that they use as spell focuses, and then they start casting spells also. Joseph has told you, quickly come to me and someone go get Alphonse. That is what has just
I'm
happened.
going. Yes, I'm gonna go get Alphonse. Tell him to quit chopping up the balloons and get downstairs.
I think at this point I've like just started taking stuff off the top of the ship and I'm throwing it at the sharks, trying to shoo them away.
I honestly, in
Well,
my
you get
mind's eye,
downstairs.
that is what I completely envisioned what you were doing. You were like, ha, shark, yeah, go away, go away, go away. Cut some more stuff up. You see Alphonse, you see Alon come running up the stairs looking frantically for you, sees you over there like chucking barrels and other stuff, and he starts hollering at you to get below decks right away.
Okay. Hope you guys have a better plan. I'm gonna pick up Green Sleeves because I think he's still up here.
He's been washing around the deck, getting slammed around, like still unconscious. Yeah, he is not enjoying this at all. Yeah, he's still breathing, barely.
I'm
but-
gonna
I mean, he's
Yeah, I'm
not
gonna pick him up and
enjoying
take
this.
Yeah, he is not enjoying it. All right, so you remember to grab Green Sleeves. I wonder if somebody's going to. You snatch him up, you throw him over your shoulder, and you come running back downstairs. At this point in time, when you guys come running downstairs, the rest of you notice that all the Magi have some type of magical barrier erected around them. Some of them have very similars, just look like a blue energy of cocooned in energy. They're levitating off of the ground just a little bit. Others look like a suit of armor has encased them. Others look like just walls of wind circling around them. Each one's a little bit different, and like I said, some are the same. You come running up to Joseph, and he finishes, with the spell, and he's like, "Get close." So all of you kind of start to move in, and then you notice that four lights, each one at north, south, east, and west, you would have to guess, erupt from the ground on top of the water, and then start like sizzling and crackling as then lines of energy cascade to the right and to the left, then to the right and to the left again, and a sheet of bluish flame erupts around you and then encases you in this version of a safe hut, tiny hut. Quickly you guys start to lift off the ground as you guys can see through these transparent wall of flames. You look as Graves is now started really deep into the spell. The water around him is spinning in a circle. It's almost like it's evaporating as it's coming in. Droplets can be seen spiraling around him. Other stuff in the ship starts to levitate up out of the water. Pieces of wood and rubble and all the other things found in the ship start to float up, and then they just kind of like shatter into pieces, and then those pieces shatter into other pieces until it's broken down to almost a cosmic energy level. And all this is just emanating from him. It's just spinning larger and larger and larger, and this reddish glow about him kind of just erupts as a shockwave emanates from him, washing over all of the other magi and yourself. And then it's real quiet as that shockwave kind of comes back in, sucking everything to him, and everything that gets real close starts to explode into almost cellular cosmic level items and particles, and they just start swirling around him. As you guys look up, there's just a wink. I know that my grandchildren are going to be great. I hope they call one of them Alabaster after me. The energies cascade again, and then there's another shockwave out. This time, when the shockwave explodes, instead of just like a ring, it's a sphere, and pushes all of you and all the magi up out of the ship as the whole ship explodes. All the water around it is pushed back. The Sahuagin that were swimming up to it and the sharks that were swimming up to it are instantly vaporized as they themselves are broken down into a cosmic particle level. And then all of that is brought back in on Graves, as he is the focal point of all of this energy. And then 2 more times this explodes out, getting bigger each time, till finally it hits that huge wall of magical energy that Alon and Burgie had created to block from the storm. When it hits that, it just siphons all of that energy and all of that power. So now not only is this, all of these particles are flying towards him, bluish and purple lightning is now racing through it as he just sits there, and then he holds the Burgie's necklace out, and Burgie, only you can hear her whisper, "I didn't need so much." And he just kind of flicks his hand, and then you feel in your pocket a tremendous weight for almost a second, and then the weight disappears. Hornrage is sitting there looking at it and watching all of it, and for some weird reason he has his notebook out and he's taking notes, and you hear him muttering some magical mechanical quotations, and then finally he's like, "My Allspark formula is now complete." And he looks up, and then finally, boom! as everything goes bright goldish white, as you each and all of you are just blinded from this final explosion. And quickly, as you guys are shaking off the effects, your eardrums are ringing. Some of you felt like you've been punched in the gut from this the explosion. And quickly, as all of you start shaking it off, you feel you are descending down onto something. The once clear flames are now opaque until you feel the hut. You feel your feet touch on something solid. The fire disappears, and the other Magi's magic that was protecting them is released, and you guys see yourself standing on this ship. I just shared the map with everyone. In the center of it, high above the clouds. The engines are running, turbines are going, and there all of you stand. Greensleeves is slumped magically behind the rudder, the steering wheel there, passed out on it. How he got there, you guys will never know. As you guys land and look, the ship is magnificent. Everybody is standing there. A few of the mages fall to the ground. Others are running to ones that are still wounded. The Magi, a few of them fall to their knees and weep at the loss of such a powerful Magi. It hits you like a sack of bricks, Colossus, that you didn't notice him before, but he is one of the six, one of the leaders of the Magi. How he slipped into this group and you did not notice him, you can only say that it was his magic. And then you realize the implications of what he had just done and the amount of magical knowledge that was just lost from this world. And even in your emotionalist mindset, but with curiosity, as you're standing there, you feel something wet underneath your eye, and you're like, there's one single tear had fallen from your face looking at that and the realization of what was just lost. You're curious to know, though, are you lost? Are you saddened? Is this sadness? But am I saddened by the loss of the person or the loss of the knowledge? Everyone else, how are you feeling about what had just happened? What's everybody's
I
reaction?
miss my grove. There's too much going on. I'm thinking about home and wondering how I ended up at some festival. Now I've been torn through time and space at least twice at this point. I just want to go home.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna.
Good.
No, you had.
I was gonna say I'm very like saddened and like numb to experience. That's how I was feeling. Good.
I was gonna say I'm gonna kind of I want to say touch myself. That sounds weird, but I'm just gonna
There's
try to
been way too much
feel
of
to
that
make
tonight.
sure
This ship's
I
much
just
bigger.
kind of look around and be like, is this? Just thinking, did we die and we're now in some weird afterlife because everything looks so pristine compared to where we just were.
Yeah, Burgie's
Just
just
not
kind of
sure if-
wondering. Sorry, keep going.
I was just not sure just what happened and if I'm dead.
Only he knows what I just did.
And the map is clear for you guys. You guys can see everything. I dropped your tokens on there too.
Oh yeah.
So our resident artificer lands and sees this one. He has this one tear drop and kind of looks around. It's like, what at the loss? What is it? what is that? And takes off running towards the front of the ship.
No
Alon-
words were needed.
Alon is just kind of sitting there, kind of crumpled. Burgie, what are you doing?
Well, I was just kind of, my head's still reeling, and I'm wondering, I'm like, am I back in the bottle? Was where and whence, right?
Right. So yeah, no.
So he's just taking some time to understand what the hell has all this been.
Riff.
Yeah, same boat here. Liking the new scenery. I wish we were back on the water. That was pretty heavy what we just went through. Kind of mind-boggling, but yeah, definitely thinking we made the right trade-off with not dealing with plugging all those holes. I'll say that though.
Although the gorilla idea was going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, the gorilla. Yeah.
Yeah. The gorilla idea was.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next
Hey,
time we find
With our track record, this thing will be crashed in about a day.
At the end of this session.
No, I am.
Don't worry, you'll get your chance.
I never once has ship building or repair ever in like all of the books that I've read, everything that I've ever looked at, ever seemed appealing. But I am about to become a master shipsmith. Okay, like next 3 sessions, I may as well not show up because Colossus is studying shipbuilding and ship repair. So like it doesn't even matter.
He's like, by God help, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. All right, as you guys are standing there, looking at it, and Colossus comes running to the front. And for those couple of viewers we have, this is what he ran to right here at the front: a giant gun, giant basilisk. As you guys are kind of standing there, looking around and seeing what's going on, out from I'm gonna put Alphonse. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Token of being a lazy DM. That's what it is. Out from where Alphonse's token is at comes Hornridge. He comes crawling out of it. He's still charred, and half his beard is burnt off, half of his hair is burnt. He's still covered in soot and everything else, and he's like, "It's my design. How did he know my design? I don't understand." And he kind of comes running up to Alphonse, and he's like, "That's my design. Like this whole ship was supposed to be like version 2.0." And then he runs over and he's like looks at Burgie, and he comes running over to him, and he's like grabs you by your arms, and he's jumping up and down. He's like, "It works. My design actually works." And he comes running over to Riff, and he's like, "No," and turns around and starts running around. The other Magi are just kind of looking around, and then finally somebody is like, "We survived. we survived." And he starts laughing, and a few of the others, kind of tear up, and then there's cheers of huzzah, and everybody just kind of lets out a huge sigh of relief. And then I'm going to say the curiosity is going to get the cats. Riff kind of walks over to the edge and, kind of looks down. And guys, there's no land down there, just clouds. And then that's when you kind of look around, and you guys are way above the clouds. Like you can see the curvature of the sphere off in the distance. And just at the curvature, you think you can see the peaks of the Manticore's spine.
Yeah, we're officially dead. I'm looking in the sky to see if I see Titan, see if I see winged Valkyries, like whatever beautiful winged battle angel dropped me off here, we're gone.
So I can see how far I was just walking around. Yep, we're dead. Yep.
That's what Virgie was kind of like. I don't know. I don't want to fly anymore. I don't want to fly.
There's so much longer to the Earth. We just gotta stay there.
Oh. So each of you take this deal for a moment, and you're like, as you guys are pondering these things and whatnot, all you hear is ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. Hey man, ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. As Colossus just books by you guys, like doesn't even try to take the steps or anything, just hits the railing, climbs over it like a little kid getting over a gate. You hear thud on the top deck, ka-chunk, 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 and he's like, holy shit. And it kind of draws all of your attention, and you see Colossus and now Hornridge just talking really fast about intake valves, pressure release. Why didn't we think to do this way? As you guys kind of all meander and make your way up to the engine area of the ship. Bergie, as you're walking by the engine area on the back of the ship here, you notice that there's a table laid out. And as you're walking past the table, the map that is rolled out kind of springs to life. And for the lack of a better terms, 3D imagery kind of pops out of the map. And you see just like this little flickering red dot over the map. You stop and study it for a minute. Roll me a sailor.
The curse of the +7s.
It's not bad.
All right, I'm gonna share another image with you guys. You can close this one. You're done with it. All right, so the blue circle, changed to red, but I don't care. Kind of represents where you're at. It seems that you didn't veer too much off course during all of those shenanigans. And you do know that directly north, where Riff had seen the peaks of the Manticore spine poking through the clouds, lies your destination, the city of Freeton. Yeah, as long as you didn't roll a 1, you were pretty much good to go. You recognize the path and the landscape on the map.
So he calms down a little bit. Oh, yeah, we're going this. We meant to do this.
We didn't goof. We didn't goof.
All right. As you guys are standing there talking amongst yourselves, you do notice the still unconscious Greensleeves was somehow like thrown over the wheel, passed out, still there. I wish I had sound effects because I'd play crickets chirping.
Good.
Everybody's like, hey, he may or may
I
not.
guess I should probably go heal.
Nah, I got you. I'll just pull out a cord from my chest and just stick it to him.
I feel like he's about to get violated. Was your
And
nickname Fisto back in the City of the Magi?
just lightning lure him. Just
I seen this in a play once. All right, so Alon goes over there and works magic. The bruises and healing starts to take effect. You kind of look down and you're like, "Ooh, that was probably a good idea," because he definitely had some internal bleeding. His side is definitely the wrong color. He kind of comes to for but just a second, and he kind of says, "Oh yeah, yeah, no," and kind of slumps down and then leans up against the railing away from the. What is that thing called? I can never remember.
Was it?
It was the steering wheel. The rudder's
Oh,
the deal. The helm.
Yep. Yeah.
He steps away from the helm and leans back against the railing and passes back out again. Hornridge, kind of pulls himself away. Joseph comes walking up. The other magi have kind of, like I said, they're taking care of each other, comforting each other, kind of taking a stock of what's going on. Joseph comes walking up, and Hornridge is standing there, and he looks over to Riff. Well, there, Captain. Great sacrifice was made. Still think we could have saved Graves, but his sacrifice will not be forgotten. What's our next move? I know that we're going to need rest, for me and my brethren are short on magical energies.
Our next move. Well, so yeah, I mean, we need to go north. I mean, I say we get back in the water, guys. Is that the vibe of everybody else?
I completely just outburst. That is a waste of this beautiful machine's power to set sail in that disgusting water down below. And
It's not disgusting. Two, how much faster can we go up here?
and then just out of confusion and amazement, I just look at Hornridge and I'm like
Hornridge is
Right.
Well, we had 3 days left. We could be there. He kind of looks up. This high in the sky, it's hard to tell what time it actually is. Wow, this is a view. We stay at this altitude, given the relative turning of Britannia, and wind speed that's up here is very light, and you just kind of see him drift off into some calculations. But if this thing is the ship that I had the specs for, we could be there tomorrow morning.
Second star on the right.
Hey. But then we can't land, I think, as the saying goes.
Hornridge kind of looks around and he's like, "Oh no, she'll land. She'll land." And he walks over to the helm, and there's sets of levers on both sides, gauges, the helm itself. And he looks at it and he says, "It is to my specs." And he's like, "Everybody hold on," and just pulls a lever. And everybody's like, "What? The?" And you guys feel the airship shake a little bit, and then hear as gears are grinding, the sound of machinery and chains moving through. And underneath the ship, off to the sides, the ship opens up two 4 bay doors. The wood slides up onto the sides of the ship. You guys can see it. And then you hear more machinery happening as you guys run to the sides, and you see what looks like legs come out. He's like, "The landing gear actually works. I hope my math is right."
I would have turned to Colossus and be like, all right. So do you think Graves dying is the only negative thing that happened in the trade-off for this ship?
Burgie and Colossus, you are the only two that truly understand the power of the Lundanium.
I would say it should have been, but forbidden magic is uncalculable. Like, you know, it's just that level above of what reason it's forbidden. You never really know what it's going to cost. It's just, yeah.
And I'll just
And
mutter under my breath, 17 more magi, and turn away.
Keeping that bad reputation afloat, baby.
I'm gonna look at
Math.
take a glance at Riff, look at his tail, and be like, there was more of a cost, Riff. I think you lost an inch of your tail.
It's just cold up here.
But there is a cost.
Stop me on that one.
Oh, this is something that is a cost, though, that is I can't do it on fantasy ground. Okay, but if we were sitting around, I would be able to do it. Yes, there is an extra cost. And as you guys all hear the words of what Colossus just said, and you kind of let it sink in, Virgie, you finally do realize now why this magic would have been forbidden from the ancestors of Celine Frozenstar and the magical school that she had done. Though transmutation is a normal form of magic, but when mixed with the power of Lundanium, it becomes an ultimate transmutation where it takes almost to like the power of a god. You can take anything and turn it into something else of your desire. This level of magic and this powerful of magic, you understand now why she would have forbidden it, and then you realize what the cost had to be. Not only did it take the life force of Graves, it took all of his remaining life force, but it took a portion of everyone that was on the ship's life force. So for game terminology, the hit dice that you guys have for rolling for short rests and that doesn't affect your character in any other way, but the amount of hit dice that you have is -1. So if we ever actually get into the short rests and things like that and the other stuff that call on your hit dice to use, always remember that all of you are at a -1 on that. And Riff, yes,
I don't remember.
your tail is shorter.
Not just the light. All right.
Hey, at least it's your tail, right?
I mean,
I just in the mirror.
yeah, well, that was just getting in my way, anyways. And how is Greensleeves better? Is he alive?
He is alive. He is alive.
All right.
So you guys have this airship and your pilot is knocked out, but it seems at least that the heading that it's on and the power that it's under right now, Hornridge is a firm believer that you guys could be there by tomorrow morning, which by your guesstimation is in about 18 hours.
Well, I'm a rest. I'm gonna go up
Yeah,
to
I need
the
to.
front of the ballista and just stand there and go into Center's Rest. That way I
As-
can stare at it the whole time.
So as you guys kind of look around and the realization, the cost was really high. The effects of the spell will be felt for a little while. Some fatigue, the plus from the battle and things like that. You guys watch as Hornridge is coming over and talking to you guys. You see Colossus, just who a minute ago was running around the ship like a toddler with a new toy, just kind of is just like, all right. And then slowly he walks to the front of the ship, grabs that bastel, and then just is like, shoulders kind of slump, just gazing off into the distance. It gets quiet. As you guys look around the ship, most of the Magi have either moved down deeper into the ship, exploring. Few of all the wounded have been taken down, and a couple of them are they're just passed out on deck up there. They've just found a little corner, a pile of rope, or along the rail, and have just passed out from exhaustion. What's Lon? You're feeling kind of nappy. You gonna go find somewhere in the ship to rack out, or are you just gonna find a nice little spot up on top deck?
Yeah, I'm gonna make some good berries. Just drop them in a pile. Say have at it, eat one, and go take a nap. I have no desire to interact with these people.
Huh.
Yeah.
Virgie's
Yeah, I
gonna.
found myself.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just gonna find myself a nice, quiet nook away from everybody else below deck and sit down and do a bit of, I don't know, like meditation, little yoga or some monk shit, like priestly monk shit. Just sort of commune.
Okay, Virgie.
Virgie heads up to the crow's nest and tells everybody he's gonna kind of keep a lookout, but he doesn't really. Kind of throws his feet up and leans back. He's just like exhausted.
Does this ship have a crow's nest?
Yes, it does. The black dots that are in the middle represent the mast.
Okay, cool. So there's 3.
Well, the center one's got the crow's nest.
Ah,
That's the highest point. All right. Riff. Kind of see everybody kind of moving away. You're watching as everybody moves off. Hornridge has retracted the landing gear, and he's standing there kind of at the helm, looking at everything.
also Center's Rest while in the ballista,
Yeah, I know. I got you. Just like, and I'm powered off.
Yeah.
I'm still watching.
It's kind of overpowered, really. Like,
yeah, it's
sitting in a ballista. Yeah. Got really quiet.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Rick to tell me what he's about to do.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry. Should have got that ready, a little earlier. And is Greensleeves, is he awake or is he asleep?
He is he's asleep.
I'd like to kind of put him near the other Magi and get his leer out and have him in a funny position with his shoes on his hands playing his guitar and put them up near the crow's nest. Because, just because.
Just because. I would make you roll, but he's not here, so not a hitch.
All right. And then yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of wander about the ship and check out the new surroundings, and then probably just there's only one crow's nest or two.
Yep, one.
One crow's. Okay, so yeah, I'll see that that's filled and just kind of meander about the ship, catching my new surroundings.
All right. So after about 20 minutes or so of you like walking around the ship, talking to the Magi, checking on everybody, you inadvertently find yourself like falling into the captain's role. You start searching the ship and you find what would be normally the captain's quarters of the ship, but it's sectioned off into a large gathering room with bunks in it instead of where there would just be one large bed and table for a captain. It seems that it's more of a meeting place with a few hammocks and bunks spread out in it. You definitely have walked through though where the rest of the ship's crew would be. In a ship this size, though, the rest of the Magi have taken up places in it, but it looks like it could fit a few more sailors in it. You're guessing, maybe a crew of 30 or 40 could be housed on this ship, as how large it is. There's at least 3 other decks, and from what you can tell as you're wandering around, there seems to be a you're calling it the machinery crawl space that seems to be between some of the decks, almost like Jeffrey's tubes. Dun dun dun. Don't sue me. That lead into the machinery. And then you kind of walk back to the captain's loft, we'll call it, and you find yourself a nice comfy chair, and you kind of get into it, and you just sitting there and looking around, and like, oh, this is, and you start to drift off. And while everyone is asleep, each and every one of you have a strange dream. Some parts of it disturbing, some parts of it relaxing. Things that happen in this dream seem surreal, but at the same time, though, definitely feel as if you are in a dream. More than once, each of you feels and knows that you are in a dream and try to wake yourself. Through the evenings, each of you have fitful dreams in this strange new ship high above the clouds. What do these dreams mean? And what have you guys dreamt? We'll find out this and more on our next Thursday Night Brew. I'm DM Ford Stillwater. I hope everybody had a great time. I would like to push the story a little bit farther, but we were out one player, and then this next portion, like I said at the beginning of this session, is super important to have all of my people at the table, because these decisions, homemade world, will have some serious repercussions. So I don't want any of my players left out on this stuff. With that being said, check us out on all the social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. Come check us out in our Discord, man. We love the game. We love to chat. Also check out my friend Nelmsy at Twitch. You can also check him out on Nelms' Nest on Discord. I will try to get the link in there next time, but if not, I'll post it in all of our stuff so all of you guys can get in there and check him out. Great gamer, great dude, does some retro, does some other stuff. With that, anybody got anything they want to say tonight?
Thanks for running the game. It was a badass as usual.
Yeah, it was pretty good RP session.
Good,
Just
good.
real quick, I can't dream.
Oh, you can tonight.
Oh, I can. Oh,
And you've never been outside the city of the Magi. They told you you can't dream, but you were also in a city of magic stuck between realms. Here you are in the material world. Dun, dun,
You
dun.
do have a soul.
As they like to say, or as not going to name drop, only because I don't want to get sued again. But as some DMs say, it's magic, bro.
I don't know. I feel like it may be more Bluetooth. But
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Dream of electric sheep.
Yes. Yes. I hope somebody gets that reference besides me.
We just watched that last night. It was great.
Oh, good old Blade Runner. I even like the second one. But rabbit holing with that, guys. Everybody say good night.
good night.
Good night, everybody.